The Midday Show live coming to you live from Equa Television Africa. My name is Joyce Iakwari, and thank you for tuning in to watch the episode. I have Sambo Solomon in the studio with me today. Sambo, how are you doing?
I'm good, Joyce. Good to see you. You're looking great in this attire.
Thank you very much, even though we are going to Europe, but I am celebrating my African heritage.
Yes, so that's why I'm representing.
Like the Europeans.
Yes.
And I still stick to my culture.
It's not that I'm dream or I'm living my culture, but I just feel we should have a touch. So as you are representing Africa, let them feel me too. So that's the idea.
Oh, Shefila.
Yes.
Well, it's good to know that we are representing the both Africa and Europe, the both continents, and we shall be going into Europe, and this country is beautiful. The country, they are modest, they are humble people, very modest, and they don't like disrespect. They believe that your voice should be heard more than even their own. That's if you're interacting with them. So are you already wondering what country it is? Well, before we move to the country, I just want to appreciate the people that have been dropping their comments on our Facebook and YouTube and platforms. It's not like we don't see them. We see them. We've had so many people watching from Guzape, Abuja. There are people from Lagos, there are people from even Jos, Abuja, so many of these beautiful places where after the show, where we go through it, we'll be like, wow, people are really watching and they appreciate. And the other comment yesterday that came that he was informed and the program is educative. We just want to let you know that we watch, we see the comments, and we appreciate. And for our supporters, thank you for your untiring support. We appreciate everything you do. Every kobo that you give is for the enhancement of the kingdom of God, because a lot of things are happening in the world right now. And where will you want to sow your own seed? Where will you want to, put your own money so that you will see growth? If not in the church, if not in where the gospel is being preached. And to the Equa Executive, we also appreciate you. We are saying thank you for giving us this platform to bring awareness, information, and even cultural differences to people watching. And the Midday Show is all about the midday activities that are found in different countries or region or locations. So you're right on time for the program. Sambo,
yes.
Today we are talking Sweden. Yes, so let's move straight into Sweden. Sweden is officially the Kingdom of Sweden. That's how it is called. And is the largest country in Northern Europe, and the third largest country in the European Union, and the fifth largest country in Europe. They speak Swedish and English widely, and they use Swedish krona, that is SEK, as their currency, their official currency. The population is 10 million, and the head of their government is a prime minister. So let's go straight into their history briefly. Tell us.
Okay, you mentioned the location, and then Sweden became known to the rest of the world through Vikings who emerged in the 19th century by raid much northern Europe. In the entirety of Sweden became a Christian kingdom in 1397. 1397, Sweden united with Denmark, Norway, Finland in the Kalmar Union, led by Queen Margaret of Denmark. Eventually, Sweden left the Union. That is in 16th century. There was an attempt to restore the Kalmar Union. They tried, but later it didn't really work. And then in Sweden, mostly today, the modern Sweden and also broke from the Catholic Church with the Reformation. Before it was, Catholic, then the Roman Catholic, mostly they are the ones in charge. But because of the Reformation, Sweden broke from that and then obtained like half their own And then if later, if we go to the religion aspect of it, you will now see how what they adopt as their own. Leaving the Catholic. In 17th century, the Kingdom of Sweden reached a peak, of its power. It was controlled. Its controlled area of Denmark, Russia, Finland, and the northern Germany. However, the Northern War, though Sweden fought well during that war in 1700, and they fought well, but they didn't scale through. They lost the war. Then Sweden no longer became a European power. Yeah.
And they joined the European Union in 1995, but did not join the monetary union, and therefore still uses the Swedish krona as money rather than the euro. We mentioned that they are a European country, and you'll be wondering why they are using their own currency, that's the Swedish krona, instead of the euro that is widely used in Europe. So that is why, because they did not join the monetary union of the continent they are, that's the Europe.
Even them, you see the brief history, they are European power. So looking at even this country, some people will be wondering, when you call this country, that are being controlled then by Denmark, you start wondering, so Denmark are that powerful, and Sweden are that powerful then. So you can see the reason why they are even using their own, because they were once world power. Not until when, they lost in that battle. And they ceased to become.
Yes,
but they're still using
powerful.
Yes.
Well, moving to religion, the Christianity, that's the population of Christians, is 62.9%, and they are belonging. That is the percentage, 56.4% to belonging to the Church of Sweden. Then we have people who don't belong to any church as 34.8%. Then the Lutheran Church of Sweden, which was the state religion until 2000, is far the largest Christian denomination, but is facing a continuous decline in registered membership. 56.4% of the population in 2019, then 2.9% less than 2 years earlier in 2017. Other minor Christian denominations include free churches, the Catholic Church, and the Eastern Orthodox churches, while members of other religions are mostly Muslim, the Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, whose number grew significantly with recent international immigration. Yes. So that's about their religion, and they have freedom of religion. As you can see, they have the Muslims, the Hindus, the Jews, and the free thinkers. Like you always say, the free thinkers, even the Roman Catholic. And the number grew because of international immigration.
You see, the Roman Catholic is still there, but you see their church, even the Lutheran Church of Sweden. So there's a particular that they adopt, for their own. So people see that like if you look at Nigeria, for instance, in the north, they will tell you that is either Ekwa or cooking, or they feel it's the indigenous whatever. Like in Plateau, they will tell you cooking is the indigenous church in Plateau State in Nigeria. So you find that people sometimes find it comfortable when they localize something, they understand it better, even though not a total waiver to the initial one. And talking about economy, should we talk about the economy now? Okay, that's just about about the religion. The economy of Sweden is highly developed, export-oriented economy. That's who they are. And did you notice something with what we said yesterday in midday show? This is the foreign country. See, their mindset is export, and when they are leading is export, and when they leave, you see the decline, and you can see.
What do you expect from an European country? They are always ahead, one step ahead or 100 steps ahead. They think export more than import. They think internationally more than locally.
Yeah,
that
I think I like that. They think internationally.
Africa,
yes. How are they going to contribute to other economy, particularly the economy
how
of the
they
world?
are going to build their own economy by pushing out exports to other economies. So that because when other countries buy, is adding to their own economy. So they think their economy first, even before advancing other countries. Do you understand? Because if you are saying export, is not first for the benefit of other countries. No, it's for your own benefit, because the GDP of a country will advance. There will be growth in the capital, in the foreign money or whatsoever. Then before you even think, okay, this country don't have this, let's export. They don't think, yes, it's because they are lacking something, let's export, let's help them. No, they're thinking they are lacking something and we should provide a service to them.
Yes. That's the mindset, is export-oriented economy aided by timber, hydropower, iron ore. This constitutes the resource base of an economy oriented toward foreign trade. You just said it, and you look at the main industries include motor vehicles,
telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, industrial machines, precision equipment, chemical goods, home goods and appliances, forestry, iron and steel. And imagine all these industries, that's the main industries that they have, motor vehicles and all. What are you telling me? If you invest in all these, especially telecommunications and pharmaceuticals, you are a major producer of all this. You will export. You're a major producer of. Do you know how many countries are in need of these services, of this product, especially telecommunications? Because now it's a global village.
Yes.
The world is a global village. A lot of countries use telecoms, and they buy pharmaceutical products, and with the advancement of, or with the, the introduction of other diseases. Sorry that I have to say it like that, but first, when you are thinking of help, you look at the European countries because they are well advanced. For example, the issue of the COVID-19 now in the world, where do you look at? You look at these countries because you feel, okay, they're always one step ahead or some step further ahead, and they think pharmaceutical first. They always go to the lab, see what is happening, produce drugs or produce vaccines that can be distributed. Then is it the industrial machines? They try to make life easier by having machines for everything, and they produce it in their country, then export them. Then is it chemical goods? Is it home goods and appliances? If you talk television, if you talk all these things, they are manufactured there. I think this country, I can't wait for us to talk about China to see how, you
can put them side by side. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you see, traditionally, Sweden relied on modern agricultural economy that employed over half of the domestic workforce. And we are talking about what people do in a particular country and a particular hour.
Yes.
You mentioned. We mentioned the industry.
Yes.
So you can imagine the workforce already, in such in such sectors.
Yes.
And then now agriculture alone, they are talking almost half of the workforce.
And today, Sweden further develops engineering, mine, steel, and pulp industries, which are competitive internationally, as evident by countries like Ericsson. Imagine. Then they have more competitive and highly liberalized open market economy. The vast majority of Swedish enterprises are privately owned and market oriented. I have this belief that even you as a private person, as a sole business owner, when you want to maybe launch your business, you think, if you think only the business will benefit you, then you're not thinking wildly. Even when you don't even think about it, putting up the business in that certain community, it will develop the community.
Sure.
And as they invest more or their enterprises are owned privately, imagine these private individuals with businesses, organizations, industries, cut across the country. The country is developed by itself.
You're right.
Let's move to education.
Okay, the education in Sweden is mandatory for children between the ages of 6 to 17. The school year in Sweden runs from the late August to early mid-June. Preschool is free for low-income families and subsidized for all families. All students study the same subject. I love this. Like, all students study the same subject. Not that they will tell you that you have to you have to take a particular subject for this, and then but the beauty of it, they have a meeting point even in Sweden. Different language, with the exception of different
language
choices. The majority of schools are run municipally, but there are also private owned schools which are known as independent school.
And almost all students continue studying in 3-year loan upper secondary schools, where most students choose one out of 18 national programs, some of which are vocational and some preparatory for students not fulfilling the requirement for the national programs. Introductory programs are available where students work to satisfy the requirement for the national program. So they have a well-structured school environment. I don't think it's even something that we can deliberate about, compared to the African countries we've been looking at, where the budget for education is even low, priority is not there. But we're talking Sweden, we're talking a country that invests in technology, telecoms, motor vehicles, mines and steel. Of course, the education setting will be good because they want to develop or groom people, that can be
fit into the system.
Yes, and they can be an asset to the system. Because if you see, like we said, most of the enterprises are privately owned. And if they are privately owned, that means they groomed. It was a training over time. They went through school whatsoever, and they got the knowledge. And now they are owning these enterprises by themselves and growing the GDP of the country. Let's move over to the health policies of Sweden. And Sweden has 70 regionally owned public hospitals, 7 university hospitals, and 6 private hospitals. Medical services are free for all people under the age of 18, and all dental care for people under the age of 23 is free. So imagine if you are from 1 to 18, medical services is free for you. Then if you are from 1 to 23, dental service is free for you. I think they did in such a way that, because at that age, that period, that's the time that you are still under your parents. It's not like you can't afford, or your parents can't afford, but they subsidize it or they make it free so that at least you are under the government protection, or under the government budget, where you can get free healthcare service. Then for the dental care too, till when you are 23 years old, after 23 you start paying for yourself, because it's believed that 18 for you to have that service, you are grown enough to pay. By 19, you are an adult already in Europe. And for the 23, I wonder why they put it for 23 though. Maybe they don't want to put it 18, but it's good. It's really good. At least it can prepare you ahead of what is expected. Yes, have a free healthcare service, have a free dental service, and when you are growing up, you start paying for it.
And you see, even even at that age, 23 that you mentioned, they specify. They just said it's dental.
Yes.
So it's only when it's that, then that's when you know that you have a free medical treatment. And if you see, the school now is 6 to 17. It's free.
The school, the health service.
I mean the school, the one we talked earlier. So you see, I'm trying to compare the age gap. You know, is to 17.
Yes.
It's free.
So it's believed that.
Yes, and then see the health care now from. It stopped at 8 to 18, and which is good. So that means they have captured that group, that age group, you know, and then have a special budget for them, that they won't feel that burden. Even if you are with your parent, your parent will just think about something else. Education is free at that age. Medical care is free at that age. Then that means the parent will concentrate on certain things, and definitely you will see things like that. It motivates even the citizen to do more for her country.
Yes.
Because you feel that your country have invested in you.
You will even be glad to pay your tax.
That is it. That is it. Yes, you are right. So I feel is something that is commendable. The government of Sweden, even though you expect that because they are once world power, you can't control that, and then you are not setting example. We want to look at the crop production of Sweden. Swedish crop production is dominated by cereal, mostly barley, oats, and wheat, as well as
grassland.
Some 40% of arable land is sown to cereal.
And yields are the largest in the plain district in the south, and the northern fields yield the least per hectare. Then they grow potatoes in all of Sweden, whereas sugar beets are only grown in the southern most part of Sweden. So they also grow potato and they grow sugar. I think that's why they love fries. Mostly in Europe, you know, they like fries, and you can compare them to Plateau State, where potatoes too are locally grown in the state, where most of the, well, I say just people now, that's the Plateau State people, they like fries, and it's easy for you to find potatoes in most homes because it's grown locally. Even though I think, yes, even though it's grown locally, and you find that there are times that you export to other states, you know, you take it out, trading to other states where they can even get it to. So Europeans love chips. They love fries, and they grow it locally in their country. Let's go into animal production. In 2007, there was some 1.5 million bovine animals in Sweden, of which 369,000 were dairy cows. These dairy cows produce about 3 million liters of milk. They love milk too. I forgot to mention that. Then the decline in milk production has opened the door to specialized beef production. I love beef, and I think that's why they have all these. They love to grill. They love steaks. They like beef, they love all that, and they love pork too. I wonder why it's not mentioned, but they do. They love pork, they love beef, they love milk, they love potatoes, they love just so many, even chicken. Because if we go down, you see the number of hens in Swedish farming increased strongly from 1980 to 1990. In 2007, there was more than 7 million hens and chickens in Sweden. Also in this sector, rationalization and specialization led to larger holdings. So
and it is very key. It's important, like you said earlier, they see any opening and they take advantage. See the growth, you know, see the growth from 2007, from 1980 to 1990,
Yes.
and then to 2007, you can see the growth to 7 million, which is remarkable. And then they keep building. That's what they do. They keep building. And then you talk about the pork. You know, it's there because they look at it globally, ma. That's the beauty of it. And you know, once you travel, airports, you know what they offer, you know, plane and like that. So they use that very well to their advantage, and is really, really yielding result to them, adding to their GDP.
We are going into their common food, and I'm expecting to see that they love fries and chicken, because mostly that's what they love, fries, chickens, and they have all these
fries enough.
They have all these outlets, restaurants that sell that. But if we do not, I'll ask them why. So let's go into their common food. Their common food, there is one that is kotzbula, and this is meatballs. The recipe is simple and goes way back. Minced pork. I said it. See, pork is coming into this. Minced pork or beef, onion, egg, milk, and bread crumbs, mixed and fried in a generous amount of butter. It's traditionally served with mashed potato, lingonberry berry jam, and brown cream sauce. As with most Swedish food, the meatballs are only lightly seasoned. Salt and pepper are generally considered enough. Then the traditional meatball has a very important role in Swedish cuisine. It's served both as an everyday meal and as special meals during the holidays, Christmas, Easter, and Midsummer. So that's all about the meatball.
Okay, we have the rapmaka. Is a shrimp sandwich. It's an open faced sandwich generally served on rye bread. It's topped with lettuce, mayonnaise, egg,
dill,
kavara, and then
yes,
and then I think I love this, maybe because of the combination. I feel among all that
because of the vegetable, that's the lettuce.
Yes.
But don't forget there's mayonnaise on it.
Yes.
And there is egg on it, and a generous amount of shrimp. But they mostly serve it as an appetizer, you know, or as a main dish. At least when you eat that one, you should know that
heavy.
It won't be heavy.
Yes.
At least, do you know the calories that will be in it?
Okay.
But well, that's for the shrimp sandwich. Then there is the small pudge, and it's called crumble in English. Small pudge is a summer favorite and is made with whatever berries or fruits are in season. The fruits or berries are placed on the bottom of the pie dish and covered with crumble made from butter, sugar, wheat, flour, and oatmeal. That makes a sweet crumble dough which goes perfectly with the sourness from fruits and berries like rhubarb, raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries. That's it on the screen. It looks like puff puff.
Yes.
The Nigerian puff puff. Yes. So that's it. It's called crumble in Sweden, but we call it puff puff in Nigeria. Yes. So let's go to the next one.
It has the center sweet roll. It has its own, they call Fetistedin, and celebrate every year in February. February, is it because it's a love year?
Well,
14 February, you know, that's Valentine's Day. I'm just saying because they mentioned
February, the love month.
Love month, yes. And then this pastry consists of a simple wheat bun, flour flavored with cardamom. The top is cut off and it's filled with almond paste and whipped with cream. This food, you can see it. It's more like
it looks like a Christmas kind of food. And it's
How
even
does
mentioned here.
Christmas-
Yes, this see it. It's snowy, it's beautiful. It looks like something that you will eat during the holidays.
Yeah,
Looks
even
like
the
something
design that
you
normally
serve.
come, that
Yes.
snow design for Christmas.
This is the time that these are type of foods that when you have visitors, you just serve them. And it's said that it's popularly available in bakeries from the end of Christmas throughout March. I'm in the spirit. I said it.
You are,
Looks like
you
a
are.
Christmas kind of food.
Oh,
So they serve it from the end of Christmas till February, the love month, since you've been insisting that it's the love food. Well, let's move to the next one, which is Fallow and this is Fallow Sausage. It is a local sausage from the districts of Dalarna, located in the middle of Sweden. It's not considered to be very fancy dish. People generally don't serve it to their guests, and you rarely find it in restaurants. Instead, it's popularly served in everyday meal. It's generally baked in the oven or fried and served with macaroni or in cream tomato sauce with rice. So that is for Fallow sausage, and I think is is a food that is loved so much that you even hide it, you don't serve to your guests. So, but it's served in everyday meal. But you know, there are people that don't really love sausages. There are
yes,
people that don't eat
you're
it.
right, you're
Maybe
right.
I believe that's one reason. You know, you rather serve it to your own home with your own immediate family than to serve it with to other people, and it might offend them.
Yeah.
But it looks a bit filled with vegetables, and I love sausages though, so I won't mind.
Me, I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
We have a sopa and pankako, pear soup and pancakes. The pear soup is made from dried yellow pears and pork broth, seasoned with thyme and topped with salty pieces of pork and mustard. This is often served with a warm punch drink based on the tradition, and pear soup is served on Thursday in the military. In a restaurant and in school. Why Thursday?
Don't you have a certain food in your Nigerian secondary school where some certain type of foods are served?
Okay.
You do. And why is it that I can't even remember some type of food in Nigeria where they are served on certain days in school? But, well, that is what this pear soup and pancakes are served in the military
Maybe
schools
it's
and
because
even
that's
restaurants.
been long. I know we
Funny
eat.
enough, I didn't attend boarding school, so I don't even
we
know.
eat normally eat rice on Sunday, and that's when you eat meat. Yeah, I know of Thursday gari.
Okay.
Yeah, the
local
normal
cassava,
eba.
yeah, okay.
Yes, eba and vegetable. Yeah.
Wow, your school served you well. Well, I was home. I didn't attend anybody's school, so I eat whatever is available at home. Yes, without anyone giving me, what is it called, a schedule for food.
For food.
No. So let's move on. We have pickled herring, and it is called the seal. Today, the most popular way to prepare and serve the herring is to pickle it. After the pickling process, the fish is flavored beef serving. Various flavors are added, such as mustard, garlic, onion, herbs, and others. Do you like garlic?
Not that.
So this is not your food.
It's not.
I love garlic, so I can eat garlic.
Particularly when it's pronounced.
In food?
In food, yes.
When they put it in the stew,
when you can feel it. Yeah, you know, there's some delicacies that you just have to put it small, that you hardly notice. But there are some you feel the aroma so pronounced as if the whole of the food is garlic.
I remember this superstitious belief in Nigeria that when you put garlic in food and people refuse to eat it, they are maybe witches and wizards, like it chases bad energy or witchcraft away. So I'm suspecting you though, even though I'm a Christian.
Okay.
I don't believe in superstition, but that's it about this food with garlic, onions, and all. If you can take the next food for us so that we can move forward. That's the Swedish sandwich and cake.
And cake. This is where we put everything we like on bread. Like everything they like, they put it on bread in layers and serve it as a cake. There aren't really any rule on what goes in the cake. You pick whatever you like or have available, and then you use it. To avoid the cake being too dry, it fills with different things such as mayonnaise, egg,
potato, or creamy mixtures,
Yeah.
and then decorated with meat and vegetables. I don't think I like that's it on screen. You can see cucumber, you can see tomato. Is that orange on it? Then it looks like a cake, but it's not a cake. It's confusing, but I believe it's delicious, but I won't partake in it. So that is the Swedish sandwich cake. And funny enough, I'm not a cake person. So I think that's why I can take a pass on it.
I testify to that.
But you are a cake person. Do you think you will love it?
I call this cake all-rounder in the sense that because they said it here, that everything you like, you can put it there as long as it won't disturb your stomach. But by looking at it, I think it would be nice, even though some of the combination. Yes, I would love to test it.
Well, you would love to test anything, though. So I believe you.
Not anything.
Everything. So we'll move on to the next food, which is the black pudding. The Swedish name of this dish basically means blood pudding. It's close to what it sounds like. So it's made from pork blood, but it also contains milk, beer, rye, flour, lard, syrup, and often raisins or apple pieces. It tastes nothing like blood or even meat. It has a very sweet and spicy taste of clove, pepper, and marjoram. It's served with bacon, legon, berry jam, or syrup, and a glass of milk. Blood pudding.
Blood pudding.
Next.
It's like you like the name.
No, please. Let's take the last food. I don't think so. But there are people, even in Nigeria, there are people that eat blood from meat. I don't know how they do it, but they extract the blood from the bones. When maybe they remove the flesh from the meat, this is how they extract it. There was a time that I had a discussion with someone, I think she's Igbo, back then. It was more of a research, and she was telling me about how they extract the blood, dry it, there are processes, and you eat it, and it has health benefit. So I think this one too has the health benefit because it's a blood pudding and it's gotten from pork, even though we don't know the processes of how they are made. But like they said, it doesn't taste like blood, and there are so many things that are added to it to make it tasty and spicy.
I agree with you because I remember this that you are saying, many people go to abattoir to take the blood. Like that's what they go there to buy, and then they process it. I've seen one documentary like that, that they used to like boil it. After boiling it,
drying process.
You know, I watched that and I begin to say, oh, so Nigeria is this big. There are certain things that you just feel, but
that's why it's good to have knowledge of how other cultures are, so that you won't have that cultural shock sometimes when you visit some certain places or people. You'll be surprised that you in Nigeria, there are places that you go, maybe in a restaurant, and you'll be served dog meat. And you'll be wondering, why are you serving me dog? No, but that is how it is acceptable in that culture. You know, sometimes you can be served with bush meat, which includes snakes and rest, and you'll be wondering, these people, are they carnivores? No, it's just the culture of, those certain people.
You're right. Yeah, the last one is petit pana, which is Swedish hash. This is a mixed ingredient that comes together well as a tasty and filling dish. It generally consists of potato, onion, and pork or beef. The issue of pork, you can see it coming over and over. That means they really, that particular animal rearing,
they love it.
They love it very well. And then Other vegetables and meat can also be added if available. Everything is cut in small pieces and fried together in a big pan and served with fried egg, pickle, beetroots, and ketchup. You know.
Well, that was all about the food. They have so many beautiful cuisines and so many beautiful common food, but we picked this so that people can be enlightened on how their food is, and if you love to taste it, or you are so African that when you travel there, you like your African food. You know, there are some people, even though there are African restaurants and all, there are some people that still love their African food. But it would be bad if you taste this, and even from the explanation, you know what to expect, and especially this puff that is on screen. Well, let's move.
And looking at it, you will just look at what is close to what you are used to, and then settle with it. So you have an idea if you're going. This is what you get. Even
for
though
the lovers of shrimp, seafood too, there is shrimp and all.
Yes.
Let's move to the culture of Sweden briefly, because there is a lot to talk about Sweden, but we have to see how we can manage it and take it all on this segment. The culture of Sweden. One of the key characteristics of Sweden culture is that Swedes are egalitarian in nature, humble and fine boasting, absolutely unacceptable. Like I said earlier, they are humble, they are modest people, and for you to boast is unacceptable. Well, I would like to tell them this. Please come to Nigeria.
You are giving them an invitation.
Just come.
Okay. In many ways, Sweden prefer to listen to others as opposed to ensuring that their own voice is heard, which is very, very important. It's hard, you know, in some parts of the world, you know.
Most parts of the world, you prefer to be heard than to listen. But then the reverse is the case. Then when speaking, Swedes speak softly and calmly. That's one good thing about their culture too.
Swedes rarely take hospitality or kindness for granted, and as such, they will often give thanks.
Then failing to say thank you for something is perceived negatively in Sweden. They love their culture in a way that they are modest, hospitable, and they hardly demonstrate anger or strong emotion. Then behaviors in Sweden are strongly balanced towards lagom, or everything in moderation. That's what it means. Like there's a level, you know, to everything. It shouldn't be too high, too low, but everything should be in moderation. Then excess flashiness and boasting are abhorred in Sweden, and individuals strike towards the middle way. So they don't like all these extravagant things, flashy, flamboyant lifestyle. No, everything is to a moderation. Everything should be done to moderation.
You see where foundation play a role. Just look at the way they set it from primary school. It's free. You take all courses, and then those that cannot afford, there's this subsidy, and then from hospital. So you can see how, you know, from the grassroots, how
there's a progression.
You know, people work hard, but not too hard. They go out and enjoy themselves, but without participating in anything extreme. Due to the strong leaning towards egalitarianism in Sweden, competition is not encouraged, and children are not raised to believe that they are more special than other child.
Wow, that's a beautiful culture. And right from their school, they don't even engage in competition to show that no one is higher than the rest. But in most parts of the world, you see, even in secondary school, you have to compete, be it in PE, be it in, that's the physical health education where you have sports and all, be it even in class, you know, if you are brilliant, this is how you are already placed. That yes, this is the holder of this class, or this is the one that you shouldn't play with, or there's this structure already that is there, but here we can see that everybody is equal, and competition is not even allowed. Like, it's not encouraged in the country, so that you won't feel like, okay, when you come out first, you are the best of all things. No, moderation is the watchword in the culture of Sweden. And the right, we're talking the family now.
Yes.
In Sweden, the right afforded to Swedish family to ensure that they are able to adequately care for their children are some of the best rights in the world. An overview of this right is as follows. Either the mother or father is entitled to be absent from work until their child reaches 18 months old. That's a very long leave.
Oh, welcome to our country.
But our country too, they do that where you give birth, there is a period.
Yes.
I think 6 months or something. I don't know how long. 3 months.
Three
it's
earlier,
3 months.
but yes, they were agitating for 6. I don't really know if that has been approved, but I heard someone said, I didn't confirm it, was telling me that the husbands now are being allowed now to stay with their spouse after birth for 1 month.
Yes.
I think 1
Yes, I
month,
heard
right?
that too.
Something like that. But I didn't go through the the story. But I know it was something that some particular people are pushing, because if the woman is spending 3 months or 6 months at home for maternity leave, they call it in this part of the world, then the husband too, they expect him at that time he should help her because she's weak, and some they don't have helpers, helpmate at home, so they feel the husband too should be around for 1 month, even as they group the child together for 1 month. That period. So that's a good one. Either parent has the right to reduce their week load by 25% until their child reaches 8 years old and is formally ready for school.
A parental allowance is paid for 480 days, which is intended for both parents, and you have the right to up to 60 days off per year to care for a sick child. They are family oriented. They believe in family so much that they allow some of these things. They give money, they give 25% off workload, that's you can reduce it. They give leave for 18 for a long time. When your baby is 18, that's when you can resume work. So this is about the culture.
And 60 days to take care of
a sick child. Yes.
That's 2 months.
So quickly, I just want us to manage our time. Let's go to the hospitality in Swedish culture. Okay, I will just read this. It's common. It is more common for guests to be invited to a Swede home for coffee and cake as opposed to a meal. But if you are invited for a meal, then ensure that you are punctual, as it is considered extremely impolite if you are rude. In the same essence, do not arrive too early. It is not an uncommon event in Sweden for guests to sit in the car until the last minute or walk around the block until the expected time of arrival has arrived. And this moment, I still want to tell them, please come to Nigeria. So please go ahead. If you get it, it's okay. Yeah. If you don't, it's okay.
It's okay. It's dress smartly as to otherwise would be considered disrespectful to the host. You may be shown around the house, but do not ask to see the rest of the house, as Swedes are generally
very private. When eating, keep your hands in full view with your wrist on top of the table. This so that you don't steal anything. The European eating etiquette should be adhered to in respect to knife in the right hand and fork in the left hand. They consider that respectful. You may not eat until the host or hostess has said Varsagoda. And I believe that is let's eat. Or
Joyce, Varsagoda.
where's the food, please? Do not take the last helping from a plate. Finish everything on your plate, as it is considered rude to leave any food uneaten. Do not offer a toast to anyone more senior to you in age. When offering toast, then lift your glass and nod at everyone present, looking from those seated on your right to those on your left before taking a sip. You should then nod again before replacing your glass on the table. Wow, they have so many rules or etiquette to even their dining. Then it is important that you do not discuss businesses at the table, as Swede try to distinguish between home and work. They have a similarity with the Angolan culture.
Yes.
Then always write or call to thank the host, hostess with a few words, with a few days of attending the dinner.
That's interesting.
It is.
Yeah, gift giving etiquette. If you are invited to a sweet home, then it is suggested that you take the small type of gift you will give in the UK, such as
bouquet of
flower or box of chocolate. If you choose to give flowers, then ensure that the bouquet does not include white lilies or chrysanthemums. The reason for this being that both types of flowers are typically given at funeral. Okay, you take note. Since Sweden is such a child-centered country, it is always recommended that you take gifts for any children who may be part of the family who are visiting. If you are personally giving a gift, then it is custom to open it upon receipt.
Instead of the Angolan, as opposed to the Angolan culture where you don't open it till, late, and they rarely even open their gift. But here you can see that you are supposed to open it. And also you take gifts to children. Same thing with the Angolan culture. And I say, when you take gifts to children, you should know that that gift belongs to the mother. And that is an African thing. Because when you give a gift to a child, it's for the mother or for the family or for the siblings too. They will collect it depending on how old the child is. So
emphasize about that gift child that
because I know. Baby, how you doing? Take. Sorry for you. Except maybe that's what the child will wear or that's what the child will feed on. But even though it's not a general thing, there are some parents that will serve you. They have the piggy bank for the child where they drop all the gifts, then give him later in life, or buy food and clothing for the child. Let's go into the business wear in Sweden. Business wear in Sweden is conservative. As such, the following is advised. So if you're a foreigner visiting Sweden, you should know that these are the things that are advised for business wear. Men should wear good quality suits with silk ties and shirts. Women should wear conservative business dresses or a suit. Due to the values of Sweden, it is strongly recommended that you do not wear anything flashy. Even senior directors or executives do not dress any more elaborately than average employees. As such, avoid ostentatious or obvious jewelry. I would just advise foreigners to always wear black. Because it's more formal, it's more conservative, and it's not flashy. It's not a flashy color, and you as you are not trying to show that okay, you are flashy or whatsoever. See how they are always dressed, very beautiful, very formal, very even the employer dress alike.
Yes. The business meeting in Sweden, ensure that you give at least 2 weeks notice if you are arranging a meeting in Sweden. Months to avoid, if possible, include June, July, August, and the late February through the early March, as most Swedes will be on holiday during this period. Punctuality is absolutely essential. If you are late, then this will reflect very badly on you and will be viewed as discautious.
Well, Swede rarely engages in small talk at the start of a meeting. Instead, people will move directly to the topics at hand. They like it straightforward. No small talks. The meetings are typically governed by an agenda which is distributed to individual prior to the meeting. Then there is very little talk outside of the agenda topics, although most meetings are managed by a particular person or individuals are expected to contribute. Then Swedish business personnel are extremely detail focused, and as such, any presentation should be well prepared with supporting accurate and relevant data. Swedes rarely make decisions during initial meetings. As such, the first meeting that you have with your host is likely to be the fairly general and low key. Then Swedes are direct communicators, and as such, saying what you mean and meaning what you say is both practiced and expected. Awkward silences are rarely seen and as awkward in Sweden, and as such, Swedes do not rush to fill conversation silences. So when you are, trying to make a sentence and you have all of a sudden you are quiet, they allow you to still finish it. Not in Nigeria or other cultures where we fill in the sentences, which you are so good at doing.
Okay, thank you very much for telling me.
Well, so these are the formal meetings, formal businesses, formal dresses. When you want to set up a meeting in a formal setting or with a Swede, with a Swede, you have to follow due processes. You don't have to be impromptu about it. You have to give a week notice. You have to avoid some months, just the months you mentioned. You have to just be formal, and even the addressing and even the etiquette.
Punctual.
I think, yes, this will help people that are traveling there, or it will even expose you to the culture of other people. We always encourage people to have a broad world view of the world, so that you know that what you do in your country is different from what others do, or what you do in your country is acceptable and alike with others. And that is the much we can take on this show today. Yes. What do you have to say before we leave?
Well, I want to say to the viewer, thank you for doing this with us today. See you on Monday.
Well, that's all we can take on the show, and I hope you've been informed and educated about the country, this European country. Why don't you join us next time, where we bring another country and their activities, etiquette, and even their food, dining, cultures, and whatsoever. My name is Joyce Iakwari. Thank you for watching, and thank you for always supporting us. See you next time.